everyone in power is related, and the only reason that they're in power is because they have the royal family blood.
I think AI will probably, most likely, sort of lead to the end of the world, but
there are no biological tests for any mental illnesses that I'm aware of.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there's having a good day. Y'all make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That really helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's do what we came here for. Let's get into it.
I am under the impression that everyone in power is related, and the only reason that they're in power is because they have the royal family blood, whatever that looks like. I think someone did a study. It was like every president except one were related. Correct?
JFK.
And I truly believe Netanyahu, Putin, Trump, they can all be related. They could all be distant cousins at some level, and they know each other, and they beef and they fight like brothers.
A lot of things that we resort to calling demons or bad spirits, a lot of times are just people who know a little bit more than others, and they've made a covenant with higher powers for more powers. That's why you hear things like skinwalkers and stuff like that. And then skinwalkers is something within itself, because only the First Nations people know the set of knowledge to create this entity, but they don't tell anybody, because, you know, when you go on Native reservations, they have different laws. Using skinwalker magic is against the law on the reservations. Just like if you go to the United Arab Emirates, it is illegal to use witchcraft for gain. $50,000 fine for using it. Or summoning a jinn for personal gain. Why would these things and laws exist if that condition is fake? It wouldn't. Because what? You gotta always follow the money. It costs money to make legislation. So I'll say this. You have to know the history of the people that are speaking before you can make judgment. Go outside and investigate yourself.
I really do believe we were engineered. And the reason I say that is you can't have all these intelligences come from all over the place like multiple people on the inside say, and all of them look like us without a common origin.
Right.
Because evolution does not work like that.
Right.
Okay, so I believe that they are seeding the universe with humanoid beings for whatever reason. Whoever is this entity controlling all of this. And I don't know who it is. I'm just telling you what the logical inferences are and what the insiders are saying.
He was poisoning me every morning in our coffee, trying to find out what my threshold was. Because when these demonic cults, when these people do human sacrifices, they need you in such a state where you're fully mentally cognitive, but you're disabled physically. Because they get their demonic power that they believe in, but they're spiritual forces in this world that are very real. But they need you to be in a lot of pain during their torture. So they need to disable you physically so you can't fight back, but they want you mentally very as aware as possible.
A common theme with these types of acts is that they are usually much closer to home, as it's much easier to manipulate someone who thinks you love them and have their best interests at heart. Bless this poor girl who was brave enough to speak out.
He possessed me with some sort of a demon when he did that ceremony on me. And it blows your mind wide open. To where they can commune with other entities as a...
Elvis?
Yep.
He was actually seen a couple of months after his death sitting on a chair inside his bungalow, which is next to the Graceland mansion. His red Learjet went missing, right, when he died, when he supposedly died. And it was actually seen on a little island south of Hawaii.
But when he died, wouldn't people look for him and find him at his own home?
They get sick of the celebrity life. They can't do anything. Like Elvis, when he wanted to go to the cinema, right, he'd have to hire the whole cinema out after midnight, so him and his friends could go watch a movie.
That's true. Priscilla Presley, we had her on this very show, and she said that.
No, that's a common conspiracy. Because I know when I was growing up and there'd be like an Elvis impersonator on TV or you see one out in the street, my dad would always make that joke. Like, look, he's not dead. He's right there. Like, it's an old conspiracy that Elvis never died.
hell just happened in the Philippines. I want everybody to watch this video with me real quick, okay? This is known as the Mayan volcano, the most beautiful and perfectly shaped volcano in the entire world, also the most active volcano in the Philippines. And look at this shit. Does that look normal to anybody? That is a meteor, and it's weird considering what happened just moments after. First of all, once again, this is the Mayan volcano, okay? The Philippines' most active volcano. It is a stratovolcano on the Pacific Ring of Fire. And since 1616, Mayan has erupted 47 times. Which makes me wonder, is there something else going on around this volcano in the Ring of Fire, especially when, once again, considering what you can obviously see on the live stream? If you were to go watch the live stream of that volcano erupting, which I will link it down below in the comments so you guys can go watch it for yourselves, you will notice an anomaly at 22:33:24. A white object goes by on the right side of the volcano, leaving an obvious trail behind it. It seems to be flying perfectly straight and not towards the earth. So now I'm just curious as to where that meteor had actually landed. I'm just saying, people, it's 2026. At this point, anything could fucking happen.
If you think Elon has a secret agenda, wait till you see his mom. The story begins with her posing in front of a horned figure, which they claim is a centaur, but this gives major Baphomet imagery, which makes sense when you take into account Elon's recent Halloween costume with a Baphomet symbol on his chest plain as day. It gets way darker though. Then you have this, horn-like extensions, gold ceremonial styling, a clear play on pagan priestess or ritual goddess aesthetic, and again, this horned headpiece, which also puts off Baphomet and dark priestess energy. This is where it connects back to Elon. Listen to how he just described the future of Neuralink.
And then later this year, we expect to do our first implant for what we call blind sight. That's what I might call like sort of Jesus level or sort of technologies.
Miracles.
Miracles, yes.
And that is where this ties together. You have his mom pushing repeated occult-coded imagery. Then you have Elon talking about God, Christianity, and Jesus-like miracles. I'm not saying that technology that helps people is evil. But when you combine the occult symbolism with AI, transhumanism, and start comparing your technology to Jesus, Christians need discernment. Jesus warned that in the last days, deception would come with signs and wonders. Things so impressive that even believers would need to be awake. But Jesus didn't need a chip to open blind eyes. And he is king already. There's a full breakdown on my YouTube channel.
That's what I was saying in the last video. Like, these powers that be, they get so much money. That money is nothing. Like, there's a clip I saw of somebody talking about Grand Theft Auto. They're like, I'm so rich in Grand Theft Auto that it's boring. It's not even fun no more because I can just go buy whatever I want, right? Like, that's what getting rich to a certain level is. And then they just start wanting to be God. They want to start playing God. They want the power. They want all that. And that's what they're doing. And we're going to see coming up I don't know if he's a creator of AI, but he's big in the AI game. And he's saying that it's going to end the world pretty soon, but it's going to start good businesses.
They wear the mourning robes. It's the Grim Reaper of the streets. The black robes. Yeah, it's the same one as the Grim Reaper, right? They wear the same robes, right? Right. Because you're dead. All rise. You just paid bail. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's religion, man. We talk about cults. The biggest cult is the United States government. Who else is running around wearing Grim Reaper suits? Call them mourning robe. Mourning means state of sadness. Vatican. And this morning, because that's what y'all call it, I don't ever call it mourning because mourning is a state of sadness. You had to wake up, right? Right. Wake is when you go to a funeral, ain't it? Yeah. So you woke up dead already. That's why you woke up this morning. Okay, that's your religion. That's your religion. So you die every day. You just don't know it. When you go to sleep, you're dead. When you reawake, it's called breakfast because you just was fasting, breaking fast. That makes sense. You was dead. You fasted. You was dead.
All of them. You name your biggest black actors. You name your biggest white actors. You name your biggest female Latino actresses. They all have to do it. A blood oath. Now you bend over. Now every orifice that you have is going to be annihilated. All these guys, they take your humanity from you. You know how the feminist movement has categorized men. I think that what was his name? Samuels had the podcast. There was the women hated. Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels, yes.
Kevin Samuels was eliminated because they didn't want to go back to that. They want these women ignorant and twerking. They want kids running around the street. If they don't pay the income tax, they put them in the penitentiary and they get their money.
It's, especially in Los Angeles, it's out of control. You know, celebrity worship is just, it's not real. It's so much of it is just an act, a fraud. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes in Hollywood that nobody knows about. And if they did, it might not exist anymore.
All right, what the hell is going on here? When did men's Adam's apples go away? So that was back in the what did they say, the 70s? Look at that. Yeah, 60s and 70s. They were friggin' everywhere nowadays. Look at that. I got one still. Look at what is going on here. And then
You're all
look,
fat.
uh-oh, something
I don't
else.
got one. I'm fat.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Hey, you want to know something I bet you didn't know? This is the 12th Junkyard in 6 weeks to mysteriously burn everything in it. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were about to take off all of the older vehicles that are on the roads, and you didn't want anybody to find parts
for clunkers,
how would you do that? If you were about to say, you know what, we don't want all these older vehicles on our roads anymore. We're going to put new mandates. We're going to make you buy cars with sensors. We're going to do all this stuff. But how do we stop people from continuing to keep their old cars? Maybe burn all the junkyards? No, that couldn't be it, right? Like, that's just too smart of thinking, right? That's conspiracy thinking, right? This is just an accident, right? No coincidences, right? Stay safe, America.
They said we were going to lose 30 or 40 seats. What? They didn't know what they were talking about. We know we're different from the presidential. We're very discreet.
Say it.
Reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win. Others are winning the whole country. 10.
The minute the baseball owner said, you need to get blah, blah, to come watch a game, I realized, wow, forget communism, forget socialism. Corporate is the ultimate evil empire. They're the ones that will dictate who shall die, what war, how much money to be funded, how much money, what we'll promote, what we will make you promote. We'll cancel you, we'll control you. And that was very alarming for me. I'm not saying it was true. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying this is where my emotions were and continue to be.
It's my big thing. We're underwater. I 100% believe it. We're underwater right now. Just a different frequency from the waters we drink. That's what I think. Just like a fish doesn't see what it's breathing, the water. We don't see it. But you bring that fish out of that water, he sees it.
You know what I think? I think they know what happens when we die. And they will never tell us that shit. Do you know why? Because a lot of people will leave this bitch. That's why. Also, they don't want to tell you that none of this shit is real. Because if they tell you that, everybody will revert to their primal animal instinct. And morale will cease to exist. And they can't have that shit.
A $250 bill with President Trump's face on it. What do you think about this? So I never get into politics, and I hope this is not a political post at all. But it is very interesting. Other presidents are on the face of other bills that we have in the United States. My biggest question is, should we have a bill that's larger than $100? So clearly this is a $250 bill. I don't know if you know this, but back in the day, back in the 1930s, they actually did have larger bills. They had face value $500 bills. They had face value $1,000 bills. I don't think they do that anymore because of money laundering reasons, and that's why they only have a $100 bill. But what do you think of President Trump if this is a prototype of a $250 bill? Do you think we should have bills that are more than $1? Or $100? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.
And a druid in some fucking, Churchill's a scumbag. By the way, the peace sign, the peace sign, if you look up the story of it, it sounds like nonsense. They go, well, on naval ships, they had the flags for the planes, and this means don't use your nuclear bombs. So it's already too specific. No, what that sign, what you're looking at there, so the upside down cross was like the St. Peter's cross, because Peter was, okay. So that cross is called the broken Jew. That's what that really is. You're supposed to break the arms of Peter. It's called the broken Jew. Yeah, and so the reason they're saying Crowley's funny is, and in a way,
again, I do want to emphasize, I've never heard that in a description of Crowley.
Well, it's from other perverts. You understand? So to them, that's funny because he's a sack of shit and they're a sack of shit. So of course they find it funny for him to talk about sacrifice. What's funnier than that?
I guess like the gag is I sacrifice every day, and he was talking about jerking off. That's what you mean? It was like some lame cum gag he did. He wrote in Liber, what's it Liber
called?
4.
About one of his followers gave her to. I mean, do we even want to put this on Mystery Boys? Do we want to solve this mystery? As a 2-year-old, because
that's fucked up.
Yeah, well, that's what magic is at the end of the day. At the end of the day, magic with a K is using people as a goddamn portal to make bad things happen. And the reason they got to, because they're closer to God, because they're younger. And that way you really stick it to God. What they are at the end of the day is inversionists.
So now you're telling me that it has been approved in Japan, the ability to mix animal and human DNA, therefore splicing it and creating animal-human hybrids that are allowed to come to term. Now I'm going to let you marinate that for just a second.
We doing,
Are you
y'all?
good? Are we ready to cook this chicken? Now, the reason behind it is it's supposed to potentially help with human organ donors and transplants. Therefore, if you needed a heart, a liver, a lung, a kidney, you would have access to that quicker, because if you know anything about that, it is a very lengthy process and a very challenging one for those who need organs.
So you think they're going to do this and help us out, help out the poor man, right? They're going to do all this to help out the poor man. You think those things are going to be 2 for $1? You think they're still going? You think our insurance is still going to cover? You still don't think there's going to be a waiting list, an imaginary waiting list? They ain't doing that for us, y'all. They do nothing for us. They do nothing for us. It's all for them, for their next world.
But there are some huge red flags and a lot of skepticism attached to it, because they're not entirely sure what the human cells will potentially do to the animal brain. And then there's also the whole thing of religion. I swear every day I wake up, I'm like, what sci-fi movie did I just get a starring role on? What timeline did we just jump on? What universe are we currently residing in? So what do you think? Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Let me know. Put it in the comments. And obviously this is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only.
That even looks like underwater pretty much. Like, look at it. Looks like it's underwater. Like, imagine a torpedo underwater. That's what that looks like. Right? Looks like in the ocean above the water. Like a boat in the water. It's a different density.
Do you charge more if it's more hazardous?
Obviously, the biohazards you're dealing with is the blood. Obviously, blood comes with a lot of diseases, pathogens, viruses. You gotta account for how much time this is gonna require for you to get that job done. How many manpower? Was it 1 tech, 2 techs, 3 techs, 5 techs? How many hours? The amount of biohazard waste disposal. Biohazard waste disposal is expensive. You gotta take this to a regulated medical waste facility for proper disposal. That's just expensive, just to dispose this waste. You gotta account for mobilization fees, dispatch fees to get our commercial vehicles from our warehouse to the job site. So that's why these jobs are so costly. You're like $22,000 in 8 hours. God damn, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but the reality is there's a lot of operational back-end stuff you're not seeing. and it is profitable. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but it's not as sweet as it sounds.
This is why you should never buy glitter again. So the main glitter manufacturer company is called GlitterX, and an investigative journalist went from the New York Times to do an article about it. And there were a lot of top secret spots in the factory that they couldn't go to. There's a worldwide shortage of glitter, so Chris went to ask one of the higher ups, what's going on? Why is there a shortage? What's happening? He asked for a real tour of the factory, and the guy said, absolutely not. You cannot come on a real tour. We don't do real tours. And he said that you absolutely cannot see the glitter being made. He even said that you can't go to a room nearby and hear how it's being made. He said that even the companies that are their main clientele don't have access to these rooms and are not allowed to know exactly how the glitter is being made. But it's really suspicious that no one is even allowed to hear it being made. Now, the company that is the largest consumer for glitter was asked what it is, and she said, I can't even tell you. And someone asked, they said, if we looked at the product that you use to make glitter, would we know that it turns into glitter? And she said, no, not really. She said they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter. Do you believe all of this? Let me know, and follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more. It really helps when you interact. Also, I'm not trying to badmouth anyone. This is just a cool topic we're talking about.
I have something really weird and obscure to say, and I need you guys to just hold my hand and listen to me, but I just saw a TikTok of this girl talking about how she knows that we've jumped timelines because her copy of She's the Man, in a DVD, is back in her, DVD collection. And I was reading the comments, and everyone was talking about things that are, they're noticing again from the 2000s, and that's making them notice that we've jumped timelines. But hi guys, roly-polies are back, and that's so true. The birds are chirping again, and that's so true. My daughter requested to watch 13 going on 30 for the past 3 days in a row. It's her favorite movie right now. And I don't know, I'm noticing hummingbirds and birds, and the grass is growing really fast, and I feel a little bit lighter, and I'm just wait, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What exactly is happening? But either way, I feel very 2000s. I feel almost I don't know, my inner childhood is coming out a little bit. I don't know, is that weird to say? What is going on?
The Russians have earthquake weapons. They can cause an earthquake at Yellowstone that'll wipe out the center U.S. If they cause an earthquake on La Palma Island that's strong enough, the side of that volcano is already split off 5 feet. If it falls into the ocean, it's facing the U.S. If it falls into the ocean, 15 cubic kilometers of land will hit the ocean all at once. And the U.S. Geological Service has predicted that that would cause a tsunami that in some places would wipe out up to 26 miles inland on the east U.S. coast. And that's already known by the U.S. Geological Service.
You know what I'm saying? How they don't care about us? Why do you need that? Your beef isn't with the people. Your beef is with them government officials, right? Our beef is with them government officials, but they got these things where the government officials, they walk away scot-free. They don't get touched during war times. Here, I can't speak about other countries because you know what we do with them, but supposedly. But when it goes down, the people are the ones that get offed. While the people that pull the strings, they're all up there having coffee in their box seats in the suites, watching the game go on down below.
There were a bunch of arrests in the 80s of these satanic cult rings that were abusing. There was a lot of evidence it was real, but then there was some evidence that it wasn't real. And then I remember thinking at the time, this is in the early 90s, there's no way that could actually happen. They're not organized satanic groups sacrificing animals, holding black masses. This is America, man. But it's clearly true.
It's clearly true, and Tucker, you don't want to see it. If you want to be a part of a specific group, you have to prove that you have victims. Maybe you went out and murdered. It's just evil.
That's with everything, right? Every little group you get in sororities, gangs, groups that are politicians, right? You got to do these crazy things, these hazing things, right? In a gang, you got to go off somebody if you want to join. You got to get beat up to join. You know, in the Skull and Bones thing, we know what they got to do to join these type of crazy cults. Like, you got to do some type of crazy hazing, something demonic to get into it, to be accepted, some blackmail, right?
So Sneeko,
Hollywood.
Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, and Nick Fuentes all had an excuse to not make a podcast last night, the same day that we all found out SPLC is funding the far right. That's fucking funny. In fact,
No, I say it all the time. I thought it was over. Sorry, y'all. I say it all the time. All these people on the right that are preaching for the right, they're just like the people on the left. The ones that are on the stage, the Kid Rocks, all these people that are on the stage preaching for Trump, they're the same type of people like Kamala, Megan Thee Stallion, Jennifer Lopez, Eminem. They're all getting paid to do these things. You know, people don't see it though. They think that back then, I'm sure now they're seeing it, but back then I got a lot of flack for saying that. Like, these people on the right that are preaching for them, they're paid for. If they're not paid for, they're being told like, hey, talk about me like this. Don't talk bad about me. Right? And that's why their podcasts go through the roof, break the algorithm, because these people at the top, they have relationships. They have managers. These managers are going to get with your manager and we're going to boost you. Right? They're all in a little circle. That's why they all hang out with each other. All the people on the right hang out with the people on the right. The people on the left hang out with the people on the left, and they don't intermix in front of the camera. Behind closed doors, we've seen people say, I saw Candace Owens, Erica Kirk, and whoever's on the left, somebody big, like they were all chilling at a party in Hollywood, chilling, right? But in front of the camera, they divide the heck out of us.
Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens fled the freaking country. I don't know. It could be a coincidence, I guess. Their fan base are total diehards, though. They're denying this entire thing, so
I'm saying,
let me know what you guys think.
They're asleep, y'all. They're all asleep. You got this guy in the woods throwing freaking trees that are alive.
I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like, you gotta bend it so far before it will break. You guys, I got a rubbery avocado. Wait, I need to show you this. This is insane.
Have you guys got these? I've never seen them. Unless it's just not ripe yet.
Disgusting. Banana is not supposed to bend that way.
Would you look at this? Just look at this. This is supposed to be an orange. Come check this.
Ariana, what are you doing here?
I was at a restaurant.
I thought it was watermelon season.
But since when is a watermelon doing this? I'm trying to break it.
I'm gonna humiliate you.
You think it's flat?
If I answer this, you're gonna get clipped and get humiliated.
About it being flat?
About the sun. Are you
Someone
sure?
told here.
All right,
hold on.
No, don't run.
Hold on, listen.
Now we go. Now we get the view.
Hold on, listen.
Listen to what Bradley just said.
Hey,
go ahead.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Why are you getting mad?
Because I'm talking to you right now. Listen. Someone asked me in chat. I was on live, and they said, ask him about the sun being round.
I'm answering it. Why are you yelling at me?
Is it because you're yelling? I'm trying to talk to you, motherfucker.
Was I not answering it? I said this is going to be a humiliating answer, and then you said do it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm just telling you where I got the question from.
Oh, you don't. No. Own the question.
Someone
it's my
someone
put it
gave
on
me
someone
the
else.
question.
What's his name?
Someone on a fucking kick, dude. I don't know their fucking name. They
Check
said
this
ask
out.
Zerka if the sun is also flat.
Check this out.
Go
We're doing 1 million views now, right?
Go ahead.
There's a boxing match happening soon. So check this.
Was no one gonna tell me that Wingstop, the food brand, just got exposed for using Tyson chicken as their food? Yes, you heard me right. The Tyson chicken brand that you can go to your local Walmart and just buy for like $8, but instead Wingstop's over here selling it for higher prices to get it out of it. It is bad, man. The Wingstop TikTok page is literally getting obliterated. If you go to their comments, like every single comment is just dogging on them. Like you can't scroll without passing a comment of them just getting hated on. It's bad. Not only that, you're gonna see multiple creators like me just hating on them so much because people are mad. They feel feel like they've been scammed. They feel like the food's not good anymore. They feel like they're never going to buy another wing from there again. Now, hear me out. This may be a wild take, but I'm honestly not surprised that they're doing something like this. Like, at the end of times, it is fast food. It's not some high-end restaurant, you know? We all know the famous saying, like, getting Wingstop is actually a better feeling than actually getting Wingstop, because once you finish it, you're like, bro, what? This food was actually mid this whole time. Why did I get this? I don't know, man. It's just crazy how much they're actually getting exposed for this, because, dude, I honestly see Wingstop just plummeting after this, because after so much people figuring this out, they're cooked.
Whitney Webb, who's a journalist who came on my show, said a lot of people didn't want to reopen the economy until they remade the economy and got rid of all these legacy systems. Like, and this is a doc with Eric Schmidt, who was the head of Google, and you could look it up. And they were saying, you know, they were considering these legacy systems like cash, private ownership of cars, you know, things like that, like getting rid of all of these things that are distinctly American ways of life, and just saying that, like, we don't want you to own a car.
This is the most important thing that's been said here today. Why would they want to get rid of private ownership of cars?
Because they want control of people, and if you allow them to drive their own cars and use cash and run their own businesses and live in their own homes.
But let's start with cars. Vertical integration.
See it?
I think AI will probably, like, most likely sort of lead to the end of the world, but in the meantime, there will be great companies created with serious machine learning.
What kind of crap is that? This little nerdy guy that hates people, probably, like we saw in a video before, like these people that are in AI and all these big time tech people like Elon. Imagine Elon at your high school, right? Not that I was a bully or nothing, but I'm just saying, imagine what he went through if he went to a regular high school. I don't know, a public school. I don't know. I believe they were rich growing up and all that. But imagine if he went to a public school, what he would think of humans. I'm gonna get them all, right? I'm gonna offer them all, and I'm gonna ride off in the sunset and get my payback. Like, that's who they are. Like, he just said, it's gonna eventually lead to the end of the world, but we're gonna build some pretty dope companies that aren't gonna help the people. They're not gonna help us. We're gonna lose our jobs. We're gonna lose our paychecks, right? But it's gonna create some good companies. That's crazy that he said that, and nobody didn't like rush the stage and beat the hell out of him. Like, you know what I mean? It's so crazy.
To be on food stamps, sitting at home all day, playing video games, and trying to put in the least amount of effort possible in order to live. And I was getting paid by the government to do that. Now I'm making money and I'm paying over $4 million in taxes. And I'm paying for the next generation of lazy retards. And maybe a handful of them might do well later on.
If you make federal minimum wage, which is $7.25, and if you get boosted to $15 an hour,
yeah,
you actually only got a real wage boost of about $1 because of the social programs you get kicked off.
Exactly. You have like the medical assistance program, you have food stamps, you have housing assistance, you have the Obama phones. You save so much money whenever you're broke. But then whenever you're middle class, let's say you're making $40,000 a year, those are the people that are broke. Because they can't get food stamps, they can't get assistance, but at the same time, they also don't have the money to pay for it out of pocket either.
If you guys want to make real money, sell stuff that people can get addicted to.
But in a good way, right?
Or not. Starbucks is the biggest drug peddler in the entire world. Starbucks sells an addictive drink because caffeine has a physical addiction component to it. And on top of that, they create a barista experience for much less than what you would typically have to pay if you were having that barista experience in France or in Italy.
People are not addicted to their coffee. Their coffee is by not any meaning superior. They're addicted to the idea of going to Starbucks. They feel they belong to that crowd of people that they afford to pay $5 for a coffee.
I've never been one to like be a Starbucks fan. The only time I really drink Starbucks is like if we're going out to the stores or something and my girl wants a Starbucks, sometimes I'll get like a coffee, right? Or if we're going on a road trip and I don't feel like getting off at the gas station because I love quick trip coffee, I'll go through the drive-through, like if we're going to Arizona or something. But other than that, like I drink my coffee at home in my little coffee pot.
There are no biological tests for any mental illnesses that I'm aware of.
There are not current available tests to verify your diagnosis.
There is no test. There is no specific test to differentiate between, let's say, schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Not a single test.
Yeah, we have not really confirmatory test for the diagnosis.
There is no test, there's no biopsy you can do that says this person is depressed, this person is bipolar.
We don't have anything really currently to identify mental illness per se.
No, there are no specific tests to confirm the diagnosis or show the improvement, like any blood tests or any x-rays or anything like that.
Oh, in my practice, I don't do any tests. I just speak with people and listen to them, and then I make a decision in what
Take a gamble.
there should be.
We don't really have any specific blood tests or other tests that are definitive for any mental illness whatsoever.
What kind of biological tests do we have available today for detecting mental illnesses?
None.
There's a
Really feel like it's just it's an environment thing, y'all. Like my mental illness came from the environment I was in, the people I was around that in my mind brought me down, made me hate myself. Right? I wasn't always like this growing up. You know what I mean? It just hit one day. Boom. The marijuana had something to do with it that elevated it. I feel like it was always in there, but it was controlled. Right? I always had these feelings of being around people and all that, but it was controlled. The marijuana just brought it out and let the cat out the bag. And I saw everything for what it really is. At least the people I was around. But really, they just gamble with medicine. I've been on tons of medicine. Some worked, some didn't. The one I'm on now works great, right? But it's really just a gamble, y'all. They don't know, right? I've been misdiagnosed forever. Probably still am, right? You know what I mean? But I'm doing good now, right? So when I go see a new doctor, like when I went to Texas, I told him straight up, I'm doing good. Don't try to change anything. If you do, let's not even do business together, because that's how I am now. Back in the day, I would be like timid and listen to the doctor. You want to change it and ruin my life. But now I'm like, my life is good. I got kids. I got a house. I'm doing good. Whatever, whatever. If you try to change anything, I'm walking out. Pretty much like when I go in there and talk to them. All I'm here for is to get a refill and get out of here. You know what I mean? So, but back in the day, man, like those things really did change my life for the better. Some people don't get that lucky.
Carved into the Arizona desert, and nobody agrees on why it exists. You can see it perfectly from the air, huge, geometric, and way too precise to be random. Is it military, symbolic, or something else entirely? So why does this giant triangle sit in the middle of nowhere? A relic of the past or something still in use?
All right, family, I'm going to cut it short today. Let me give you a little head. Let me tell you a little bit of what's been going on this past week, y'all. This has just been a stressful month. You know, when we moved, it took us 10 hours to get where we wanted to go. It was supposed to take 6 hours. There was a traffic jam. We got stuck in that for 2 hours, driving with the baby. You know, we had to pull over towards the end, like every 20 minutes, because he was just so fed up with being in the car because of that. We get to our new place. Guess what? The AC is not working. So we are sitting in the heat for a day in this house. Yesterday, my washer drain hose had a crack in it from the move. It started leaking. Worked on that all day. Like, hopefully now it turns around. It's just been so stressful. I still got a lot to do, you know, but I got to get in here and get some videos out for you guys. You know, but it's just been a very stressful month. I'm ready for this month to be over. You know, we got 2 more days here with this month for YouTube videos, and then we start a fresh month. And I'm very excited for that fresh month next month, like that next month. And what are we in June? You know, like I said, like I don't give it my all, but I appreciate all the love you guys show. I appreciate you guys still showing up after taking like a 3 or 4 day hiatus. It's just been a very stressful, you know, for me, for my lady, for my kids. It's just been a stressful month, y'all. Moving is difficult, especially when you have a 2-month-old and a year-old. It's just very difficult. So, you know, hopefully now the headaches are done, the appliances are good to go, the AC is good to go, and now we can start putting our best foot forward and feeling good and enjoying our new spot where we're at for a couple of years and make a decision where we're going to go from there. But I appreciate the love, y'all. Cut this video short because I got so much to do, y'all. You know, I'll probably do another short video tomorrow. I don't know. I think the new month for YouTube starts Monday, so Monday we'll be back with those hour bangers. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day and a good weekend. I'll see you guys then. Later.